All right. I need to get a standby card to display to let people know that I'm actually live. It's not just a picture, even though it is a picture. Hey guys, good evening. Welcome to another live session, another live editing session. Try to get on a little earlier this evening. It's almost 9. I was able to get my little girl to go to sleep a little earlier than usual. But yeah, we're just gonna chill. I'm just gonna be going through my editing process. I'm trying to wrap up a session. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. See if I can pull up my screen here. Check that out. If you guys have any questions along the way, don't forget, just go ahead and leave them in the comments there, and hopefully I'll see them. And hopefully I've got YouTube going. Maybe, I'm not sure yet. I've been having issues with it not going live, but might have got it working this time. I'm not sure yet. Won't know until I'm done or start seeing comments pop up. But if you have any questions, don't forget to ask. And I'm just gonna dive right in here. I've already started on this one this morning. This is kind of where I left off. But I'm just gonna go ahead and jump in here, and I'm just gonna start editing. And like I said, if you guys have any questions, just let me know. Hi, Rhonda. All right, so I know we're at least live. We're having a storm here right now, so I don't know how well our internet's working. So I'm just gonna go on here and gonna remove a few spots from his plaid shirt here. Just anything that's a little distracting. And I'm gonna be going pretty quick because I've got a few of these I gotta get through this evening. And hey, we've got YouTube. We've got a comment from YouTube. Hey, hi, how are you? Glad to see YouTube is working again. Haven't been on YouTube in a while. I haven't been on this channel for a while. I've got another channel. I kind of rebranded. I still have my photography business, but I don't go by the Philip Homiser Photography anymore because I'm doing a whole bunch of other things as well. Started getting into video. If you guys didn't know, I have a vlog now. So if you just go to Philip Homiser on YouTube, I have a vlog there. So I have 2 YouTube channels. I don't post on Philip Homiser Photography very much, although I do have a rather large following there. Well, I guess large. There's like 4,000 people there. I don't know if anybody sees anything on there. But hey, thanks for tuning in. We're just doing some live editing, and you guys are more than welcome to ask any questions along the way. And I'm kind of speed editing, so I won't be like getting real deep into what I'm doing. I'll try to kind of talk you guys through along the way what I'm doing here. Right now, I'm doing a little auto dodge and burn on his plaid shirt to make it pop out a little bit more. And these are some presets, or well, some actions that I have created on Photoshop, so I don't have to redo the process every single time. And if you guys want to know more about that, you can purchase my Watch Me Edit videos where I go into a lot more depth. I can remember the camera's up here, not over there. I've got 2 monitors going on here. Which I have a promotion going on right now, doing our COVID lockdown called Corona Break, because we all need a break from Corona. So if you use promotion code Corona Break on philiphomiseracademy.com, you can get any of my videos there for half off, 50% off. And the Watch Me Edit videos, I think most of them are, if not all of them are, they're already like $20, I think. So you can get those for $10. And I don't leave anything out. I put everything that I can in there. I need to brighten his face a little bit, so I'm going to use a curves adjustment layer and just brighten that up a little bit. I'm going to invert the selection and just paint that onto his face. It's just a little dark right there. Drop the opacity if it's too much. And add my little my matte action and paint that off. Whoops, I need to set the opacity to 50%. I use a lot of hotkeys, and they don't pop up when I'm live, unfortunately, and I won't be able to remember to tell you guys what I'm using. but it's good to know your hotkeys because it really speeds up your workflow. So essentially, I'm painting that off from the direction that the light is coming from, which is over here, going towards him. And I'll just toggle that on and off and show you there. That might be a little bit too much. Drop the opacity a little bit. Kind of found this back alley in town, so that was kind of cool for this session. Might actually use my dodge and burn to bring out the catch light in his eyes just a little bit. I'm so happy to see that YouTube is working again. Again, if you guys have any questions at all, don't forget to ask. And by the way, in case any of you that are local are wondering, I am still doing photo shoots. People are finally starting to kind of get out and about, and we usually have groups that are less than 10. That's the thing. We have to have a group that's less than 10. But I am still shooting. I'm starting to pick up a few sessions. So if you guys are interested in scheduling a session, I have a lot of openings because a lot of people are not scheduling right now because of the chaos. So I just applied a sharpening action as well as my logo because I am done with this edit. I'm just going to drop the opacity of that a little bit and hit the save button. And what that did, I have an action where it'll save it. It saves two different copies. It saves one that's optimized for social media, and the other one is a full resolution copy. And I'll just jump over to Lightroom and move on over to the next one. And if you guys that were watching earlier, when I start doing these edits, I save the preset once I've edited one. If I have similar photos along the that are coming up, I just save that preset and go ahead and apply it. So that's what I did just now. First thing I'm going to do is set the crop, make sure it's adjusted accordingly. Make sure to set it to 5:7. I just like having my images set to 5:7. They print well like that. And I'm going to lighten the third up with his eyes right there. Hit enter. And that preset already pretty much has done everything I need it to do right there. So the only other thing is I'm going to paint with my paintbrush over the whole image, and again drag from the direction of the light over to him, just to add this kind of silhouette, or not silhouette, vignette. Get my words confused there. And that's it. That's pretty much it for my Lightroom edit. Here's the before, here's the after. So you can see when you're shooting in RAW, you have a lot of control over your edits there, over the highlights and the shadows. So I brought those highlights way down, essentially. So we'll go ahead and move this one over to Photoshop. And these kind of edits are pretty simple. They do not require a ton of work. There's not like a bunch of stuff that needs to be removed. Nothing like that. It's just my system's going a little slow. There we go. Make a copy of the background layer. I'm going to come in here, remove some more stuff off his plaid shirt here. That's a little distracting. Some lint or something. Can you guys hear me all right? There's nobody on. There's 0 views right now. All right, so I'm gonna do my auto dodge and burn for his plaid. Let's make that pop out a little more. I just set that opacity to 100%. Paint it on. I don't like using this on skin because it causes the skin to have kind of this grungy look to it. Put my matte thing on there. You guys will start to see patterns as I go along. You'll start seeing, well, he's doing the same thing over and over and over again. And that's pretty much what happens when I have a photo shoot where a lot of the images are similar. Is I just get in this workflow, and it almost gets boring in a sense because it's just the same thing over and over. Sharpen it. Add my logo. And there we go. I like to drop the opacity on the logo a little bit. Here's our before and our after here in Photoshop. So there's just not a ton of work that needs to be done to these. Go ahead and hit save and move on to the next one. Here we got a portrait. Oh, nice. So I'm gonna crop this one. Let's see, this is a center crop. I'm gonna set it to 5:7 and I'm just gonna have it directly centered. I'm actually gonna crop in a little closer, I think, because I want it to be mostly his face. Actually, I think I'm gonna put his left eye on the right third, right there. Go ahead and hit OK or Enter, and I'm gonna use my custom brush, paint over the whole thing, and now the light's coming from this direction. I need you guys to ask some questions so we can get some dialogue going on here. I'm gonna get tired of talking to myself. I know there's at least 2 of you watching. Okay, let's go ahead and move over to Photoshop. I may be up for a while. I've got 3 sessions worth of photos to work on. Won't be getting to all of them tonight though, but I need to at least get through these. Okay, with this one I'm going to actually use a little frequency separation if it works. And I've got an action that I've created for my frequency separation, and all I have to do is I've got it to where I can just brush it on, and I like to brush it on at 50%. And I go really light actually. I'll use it and then I'll drop the opacity on it. So I may overdo it at first and then I'll come back and just really drop the opacity. Because I really don't need it with guys, especially with guys, a whole lot. I just don't use it that much. But on portraits, I want to use a little bit of it just to smooth things out. Smooth out those highlights and shadows on the face. Maybe get some on the neck area down here. Okay, so see what that did there. I'm going to drop the opacity a little bit, maybe about 50%. I feel like it's too much. Yeah, there we go. Just kind of want a hint of that. I'm just going to go ahead and combine my double layer and the frequency separation. I'm going to combine those 2 together. Because if I leave that frequency separation, it tends to have issues later on down the road. I don't want to do that. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab my auto dodge and burn for his plaid, and maybe that brick wall there. Maybe do a touch here on the brick wall where it's in focus, just to make it jump out a little bit more. You guys got any questions? There's 5 of you watching. Somebody's got to have a question. Nathan, are you watching? Are you on there? You're messaging me. Just ask your question. I'll answer it. Well, actually, I might not answer that one live. If you ask about prices, I'll have to message it to you because it depends. All right, I'm gonna grab dodge and burn and bring out these. Whoops. I don't want to crop. No crop. What happened? Here we go. Come on now. All right. Here we go. Hit the wrong button. All right, I'm going to bring out the reflections just a little bit on his eyes. And maybe even, oh, come on. Maybe darken the pupils a little bit. This kind of stuff is extremely subtle. There we go. All right, moving on. Go ahead and do my matte look. Again, the light is coming from this direction over here, so I'm going to start from there and come down to his face. And something like this, I want to take it completely off of his face, this matte look, and probably drop the opacity quite a bit. So I don't want to overdo it. Come on. My system's running a little slow this evening. All right, there we go. Do a little sharpening. Add my logo. So what I'm doing here is I'll just show you guys my setup for my actions here. So what I do is, after doing this for the amount of time that I've been doing it, anything that becomes repetitive, I turn into an action. And I want my action to be somewhat customizable too. I want to have as much control over it as possible. So what I do is I have a workflow, and I've created the workflow. I set it up in my actions as F1 through 8. Actually 9, because 9 it saves everything. And so I have frequency separation on F1, dodge and burn, which is kind of an auto dodge and burn for clothes, on F2, and then a manual dodge and burn on F3. My hairbrush, which I'm not using on him, it just doesn't look very good on him. I've got that on F4, and my fall colors, if I'm doing autumn type images, on F5. My matte / color blend action I've created on F6. Extra detail sharpening brush, F7. My logo on F8, and then my save on F9. It saves 2 copies. It saves an optimized version for social media, and it saves a full resolution version for prints. And so this is extremely time saving. As you can tell, I can just get on here really quickly, just start hitting these buttons. It's not auto. Like, I don't want to just come in here and get to the point where I just hit a button and it does the whole thing. I want to be able to have as much what's the word I'm looking for? Customizability of my images. I hand edit everything, so I still want to have that control. I don't want to give that control up. So that's why I've set it up the way that I have. All right, moving on. Go ahead and crop. This is a little tilted. Use the auto, because the auto usually looks for straight lines. Typically in the center, you see over here, this line of the wall is actually leaning a little bit, but there's a line over here that's straight, and then this line is straight. So it looks for lines closer to the center of the image. If I was to line it up from this wall, the rest of the image is probably not going to look right. Whoops. Oh, that's right. My mouse is acting up. Might have to use my pen. My wireless mouse and my wireless keyboard drive me nuts. The receiver is literally like a couple inches away, and it's not enough. It still loses it. Anyway, I'm gonna go by the auto. Set the crop to 5:7, and I'm gonna put him on the left third line there. I like that. I feel like this image almost feels like it's a little dark, even though I've got all these highlights over here. So I think I'm gonna leave it the way it is. I've got my highlights cranked down and my shadows jacked up. So I don't know if I want to push it much farther. Maybe just a little bit more in the shadows. Go ahead and move over to my brush here. And this is a custom brush that I made. It's called My Brush. Go ahead and brush that over the whole image. Whoops. This mouse, I tell you what, it just randomly changes things. Okay. We still selected here? All right. I'm going to go from, even though the light's not really coming from this direction, that's where the sky is. So that's where the light source is coming from. So we'll go from that direction down. I want some dark in the corners over here and over here. And that's pretty much it. Go ahead and move this over to Photoshop. You guys aren't very talkative this evening. I need some questions. Maybe my chat's down. Is my chat down? Am I live? Maybe my whole thing went down. Somebody say something. I need some interaction over here. Trump's on. My phone's going nuts. Okay. Make a duplicate of my background layer. Oh, he's almost Almost looks like he's out of focus a little bit. All right, there's something on the sidewalk here, probably bird poop or something that I would like to remove. Little rock here. All right, we're gonna do some dodge and burn to his clothes and maybe the sidewalk or maybe that brick right there. Unless my Photoshop just crashed. Got the spinning beach ball of death. There we go. There we go. I got my high pass filter. Sure. Bring her in here. Are you talking about Vada or Valerie? Did Vada wake up? Oh no. Yeah, bring her in here. We need some excitement in here. My little girl might be coming in here to pay us a visit. Only if she starts freaking out. I don't know which little girl it is. Shouldn't specify. She said my baby, but they're both my babies. If you bring her out here, bring her bongo. Because I can't hold her and edit at the same time. All right, drop the opacity on that. A little bit, not too much. Do my sharpening. The sharpening is really, it's really good for, oh good. It's really good for Facebook because Facebook compresses the images really bad. So if you drop a high resolution image on Facebook, it will compress it to the point where it looks like it was taken from a cell phone. So good thing to do is to set the resolution of your high resolution images. Set the whatever the longest part of the photo is. So if it's a horizontal crop, like a landscape crop like this one is, you'd want to set the width to 2048. If it's a portrait vertical image, you'd want to set the height to 2048, and that would be your Facebook, what you'd want to save for Facebook. And then when you upload that from a computer, it will be as sharp as it can be on Facebook. But you want to, the reason I said you want to upload it from a computer is if you try to upload it from a phone, at least from an iPhone, I don't know if my iPhone compresses it or what, but it doesn't work if you upload it from an iPhone. I'm going to crop in on this one a little bit. Get a little bit of negative space on the bottom there. I don't want too much negative space. Plus this is very similar to the other image. I've got like 4 of them all lined up here, selected. Oh, this mouse is driving me crazy. Do any of you guys have that issue with your mouse and your keyboard? Wireless mouse and keyboard. I've tried like 8 different brands and they all do the same thing. And I thought, well, maybe the receiver's not getting enough power. Maybe because I have like 1,000 USB things plugged in. I have different ports and stuff. So I've tried plugging it into directly into the computer. I've tried plugging it into some of the other ports. I've tried everything. Maybe it's the fact that I have so many things plugged into the USB. I'm not entirely sure. But the receiver is like I've got the mouse right here, and the receiver is literally connected to the monitor just a couple inches away, and it still has issues. Like it really lags, or like it'll just completely disconnect. Same thing with the keyboard. and it drives me insane. I'm about to just go back to wired. I hate having the wires everywhere, but I don't know. I also kind of like to be able to use my equipment. So, all right, where are we here? I keep bumping my mic. I hope that's not blowing y'all's ears out. Does anybody have any questions whatsoever? Any editing questions? How about some photography questions? Any questions? Any questions whatsoever? Because it's funny, I post, I'll post a picture and it'll blow up with people asking me all these questions, which I can only answer to the best of my ability through a comment. Whereas if you catch me live, I can elaborate on those questions. We can go back and forth. I think the problem is I stay up too late. By the time I get on here, everybody's asleep. Because I am running out of things to say. I can only say so much. I need you guys' input. I need you guys' I need your questions. Because after I go through and edit a few of these, it just starts to become repetitious. It becomes repetitive to the point where I've already said it all. It's not until you guys start asking questions is when the real content starts coming out. Just thought I'd start going live, when I start editing, when I can. That way, kind of gives me something to do while I'm editing. I feel like I'm not just completely alone in here, hours and hours on end. All right, on to the next one. Oh wow, I've got. Really? Did we have all these chosen? These are all. So what I do is, I have the client pick out their images, but I've got 4 of almost the same image all picked out here. You know what? These 2 are almost identical. They are identical. Let's skip that one. We'll go on to this one. Some of these I've chose myself, so that could be where the discrepancies are coming in. Did I paint over that? It's a little dark yet. I'm going to brighten that up a little bit. There we go. Paint over that. I would like to get this set up where all of my channels are going live at the same time, but then it starts to cost money apparently. And it doesn't seem to have much of a reach anyway. So I've got so many different channels. I've got my this is on my Facebook. It's only streaming on my personal Facebook right now because I can only do one or the other. And then the software I'm using, which is Restream, they've limited to where you can only do it on your personal account now. I guess you have to pay to do it on your page, which Facebook has so severely limited your reach on your page. It's just not worth it to me anymore, and I don't want to pay to send it to a page where nobody's going to see it. I've got 16,000 followers on the page, and then when I go live or make a post, there's like 3 people that see it or something. This is ridiculous. So it's not worth. I don't even know what they would charge me. I think it's like $30 a month or something. Yeah, forget that. But it will let me stream on my personal Facebook, it'll let me stream on one of my YouTube channels. You have to pay to stream on multiple YouTube channels. If you're gonna stream on multiple accounts on the same platform, they'll charge you for it. So I have 2 YouTube channels, but I'm only streaming to one. So I might try streaming to my other YouTube channel and see if it has a bigger reach, because right now I only have one person commented from YouTube, which I'm glad to see, because I know it's working. Almost forgot to remove this stuff in the concrete over here. What do you guys think of my live streaming setup here, by the way? I've got it set up where I can switch between all kinds of things, although I need to get a switchboard. I have to do it with my mouse. But I can come over here and I can just switch over to just the monitor if I want to do that. Full screen. I can do just me. I have my second monitor. We don't want to go there. Let's get all my... Although I can show you my setup over here. Oop, that's not it. That's not it. Okay, here we go. And now there's an infinite thing going on here. But basically what this is, I have my comments on this side and then my software on this side. And they're just kind of working together to display what you're seeing. So I can operate everything, control everything. Did that sharpen? Alright, we've got sharpening going on here. Add my logo. If I don't have all my actions in place, it takes way longer, because every action that I take here is something I would have to build up. So like the frequency separation, for instance, it would take me like 5 minutes to get that all set up. So I turn it into an action, so I can just push a button and it's there. Okay, this so this was an experiment. I'm gonna do some compositing on this one, so it's gonna be a little bit different. I'm gonna edit these two together, where he's looking at the camera, and as you see, his reflection is looking away. But then I'm going to composite this over here to where his reflection is also looking at the camera. So we'll go ahead and edit the both of these to be exactly the same edit. We can do that one and this one. And I'm just going to composite these two together. I'm going to merge them. Let's see, how do you do that? Open as layers in Photoshop. And it should open both of these in the same layer, or the same project window in Photoshop. There we go. Wait. What is it? Okay, there we go. Did it do it? I should have 2 layers in here. It's still loading. There we go. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to drop the opacity of one of these, because I'm going to have to line these out. So I'm going to select both of them. I'm going to try something here. I want to line them up. You could either do it manually, or I'm going to go to auto align layers and see if this will line them up. I've got auto selected here. This may or may not work. Let's hit OK. See if it's going to see how smart Photoshop is. See if it'll line them up for me. Oh. He moved. So, okay. I see the buildings have lined up good. We're good. Okay. I see what I'll do here. I'm happy with that. So let's see. Where's the reflection? I want that reflection. Okay. So I'm going to put the opacity back up to 100%. I'm going to put a mask there. I'm going to paint this part. Let's see, set my brush to 100%. I'm going to paint this side off. So now we've got his reflection looking over at the camera. Just thought that'd be a fun experiment to do. We both laughed about that. But now the crop is off, so let's go ahead and crop this to my 5x7. Let's switch that around. I might just broke it. Come on, guys. I know there's 5 of you watching. Somebody ask a question. I'm going nuts in here all by myself. I am using a lot of you ask about the software I use. It's just Photoshop and Lightroom. It's the Creative Cloud. It's like for the photography bundle, I think it's like $20 a month. Is it $20 a month? Is it $10 a month? I think it's $10 a month. Super cheap. People, I understand because I felt the same way when they started doing the cloud-based stuff. People were like, well, yeah, but you pay that for the rest of your life. And I completely get that. But it makes it affordable for everybody, essentially, because you can cancel it any time. It's not like you have to have it for the rest of your life. But if you're doing this as a business, the $10 a month, one session would pay for like a year. So it's really, if you think of it that way, that is if you're using it if you're doing this for a business and you're making actual money at it. If you're just doing it as a hobby, then you're gonna have to fork up $10. Oh, I didn't crop it. I should go back. I got to talking and forgot what I was doing. But totally worth it to me. Completely and totally worth it. But I have the full, I'm starting to do a lot of video editing and stuff too. So I also, I use Adobe Premiere and After Effects and all that. And so I think it's $50 a month if you do that. But I got a deal on it. I got a special deal. And so I only have to pay like $30 a month for it. So it's totally worth it. Totally worth it to me. Okay, this is a very weird composition because I have his reflection in there and I have him over here. So there's essentially 2 subjects in here. So if you look at the crop, I kind of centered the line in a sense, but since he's the real subject here, I wanted him to be more on the third. I kind of pushed his reflection over a little bit. It's going to be a weird composition one way or the other. Brian, you asked a question. You can get all Adobe like I did, and they gave me every single app for $30. Yeah, that's what I did. I just had to ask. Oh, you asked? A friend of mine, we were both talking about getting it, and I told her, well, it's $50. It's kind of a commitment. I'm only paying $10 right now. And she's like, well, right now, there's actually a deal going on for $30 a month. So you might want to consider that. So I considered it. I did more than consider it. I jumped on that. I got it. And I believe it's for life. I don't know if that ever expires or not. I guess I'll find out eventually. It might only be for a year or something, but I didn't read the fine print. I'm sure it says somewhere in there. After like 12 months or something, it'll probably all change. Brian, do you know? Is that for life? Is it $30 for life? Are we grandfathered in, or is that going to change? Did you read the fine print? Do some dodge and burn here. Though I'm not going to dodge and burn his reflection. Might be weird. Can you guys hear me all right? I see my levels over there. They look good. It's just this microphone. Brian, you know, you've got one. It's directional. So if I look away from it, because I'm not like talking right into it, I'm afraid it might, you guys might not be able to hear me very well, but it looks like it's coming through all right. My level's looking good. $9:30. We have been on for almost an hour. Brian, are you still on? What have you been up to? You doing stuff? Are you doing voiceovers? You been flying that drone? I wrecked mine. You want to see mine? I busted it up pretty good this time. Although it still works all right. Wow, this is sometimes I end up in these weird situations where there's no place to put the logo. You just gotta get creative and find a place to put it. Let me just put it. I might just put it here. I kind of hate logos. For a while, actually, when I first started, for like the first 2 years or more, I just didn't even put my logos on, and then people started stealing my work, which I was okay with because I was happy that people were stealing it because I knew it was good enough to steal. I knew that was kind of a compliment, but at the same time, when I found out what they were doing with it, they were using it to advertise their own work. I was like, I was not okay with that. I'm gonna grab my drone, Brian. I'm gonna show you something. Also, Natasha keeps reminding me to remind you guys that I'm doing photo shoots for anybody who needs photos. I am scheduling sessions again. As long as we have less than 10 people, we're good. Check it out, Brian. I don't know if that's gonna show up or not. Oh, I don't know if you can see that. Let me catch the reflection. Anyway, I ran into the roof and busted the glass, and the crack goes right across the lens. And it happened just as the pandemic started to happen, and so I can't send it in for repairs because everything, the whole world is turned off at the moment. 6 feet apart. Yes, if we do photo shoots, everybody's gonna be 6 feet apart. So I'll have to get a wide angle lens for those family shots. Families don't have to be 6 feet apart. That doesn't make sense. They live together. Getting close. 5 more. And then I may just pull up my next session and at least get started there. Start building out my presets. I'll show you guys how I do that. And also for any of you who weren't on earlier, I am running a promotion right now for my Philip Homiser photography classes, philiphomeiseracademy.com. If you use the promo code Corona Break, one word, Corona Break, you'll get 50% off of anything, and you can use that as many times as you want, by the way. And it doesn't have an expiration date. I'm just running it while the pandemic is going on. I'm just going to leave it running. So it's either going to run until the pandemic is over or until we're all dead. So it may be on for the rest of eternity. I don't know. Really like this one. I like candids. I don't take as many candids as I used to. I started out doing candids of my kids, and when I started doing this for other people, I got more and more away from candids because I realized other people want actual portraits. They want to be able to see their kids' faces. But they still love the candid stuff. I used to have a healthy amount of a balance between I'd have about like half candid and half posed, but anymore I just don't have that many of them. I think the reason why is I let my clients pick out their images now, so I don't have much to say so in it, which is good. Makes them happy. They're happy. I'm happy. Yeah, I like this one, hon. It was we'd done a few here, and I was running out of ideas, and I'm like, we need to do something candid. And he was we were striking the same pose too many times. Like, just walk towards me. We'll just have you walk towards me. Kind of like this light over here. I'm gonna show you guys a little trick real quick. So we've got the light reflecting off the glass over here. If you want to get that kind of hazy, dreamy look on a reflection or a light. Did I clean my studio? Yeah, kind of. Also, I cropped my thing so you can only see. Here, Tosh, I'll show you. There. Does it still look clean? It's a little bit cleaner. I moved a lot of the stuff away. I'm building. Let me show you guys something. I've got a whole bunch of these. They're going to be sound panels. I don't know if you guys can hear me. I walk away from the mic and I keep talking. There's going to be sound panels I'm going to put all over the walls. But in the meantime, they are taking up a ton of space in my studio. And I've got piles everywhere. I've noticed when I've got a bunch of personal projects going on, piles start to accumulate. So anyway, let me close that back out. Where was I? Okay, I was going to show you guys my little trick over here. So I'm going to open up an empty layer here. Just grab a white brush or sample. I'll just sample whatever the color is there. And just paint over that area. White. Maybe like that. We'll paint some over here. We got some reflections over here going on. Just wherever there's reflections. Something like that. And then go up and just add a Gaussian blur. And blur it out to whatever point you need to get that glow effect. What's going on? Nothing's happening. There we go. Here we go. Is preview on? There we go. Yeah. Hit OK. Never mind. It's not clean. There we go. So you get that nice glow effect. That's too much. I'm going to drop the opacity way down. I just want a hint of glow right there. There we go. So that's a cool little effect. His face is a little dark, so I might add a curves adjustment layer. Well, the bad part about using actions is you get lazy, and you also start to forget how to do certain things. What I mean by that is like sometimes, like if I have to rebuild out any of my actions here, I have to really think about or dissect the action itself, because I tend to forget how to do it if it's been a long time. Let's see here, 50%. Is there anybody on YouTube? Anybody on YouTube have any questions? I've got 4,000 followers over there. Surely somebody's watching. I know it's working now. Somebody commented on there earlier. Ahmed, are you still on? Are you there? You said hi. Natasha, it looks like it's just you and me. If you're still on, I see one person. Oh well. Oh, let's see how these are going to turn out. I'll be curious to see. I'm going to heavily crop this because there's way too much negative space. Come on, mouse, wake up. It's just us. Oh, there's three people on. Say hey. When you come on, say hi. Say something. We need hey Kelly, how you guys doing? How you guys doing in Texas down there? Is it as crazy down there as it is up here? It's not crazy. It's just because really nothing's changed. Aside from the fact that the world has been turned off. And everybody's freaking out. And buying toilet paper. That's kind of weird. But hey, thanks. Yeah, I enjoy doing it. It's fun. And it's been neat that I can get on here and actually be live, and it's streaming and working. Oh, I just noticed there's a timer over there that tells me how long I've been on. That's cool. It's 50 minutes and 35 seconds. That's pretty cool. Pretty normal there. That's what I've heard. I've heard down in Texas, it's pretty much the same. Like nothing's really changed. I think down there, people hold on to their rights a lot stronger. I think the government would be a little scared to try to lock down the hatches down there or something. I don't know. up here. It's like, go home. Okay. So we're all home. I'm not. I'm still working. I'm thankful that I'm still working. Two of my brothers have been laid off. Come on, mouse. And a lot of people have lost their jobs. So I am very thankful that that things are still somewhat normal. Now, the photography side of my business is almost non-existent. I'm finally starting to pick up some sessions, but this is my busy season, and I've had 3 sessions so far, which is not good. It's not good. Sometimes an image like this, when we've got a blown out sky back there, which you can see in the histogram up there, it's just the highlights are jacked up over there. Sometimes I can get away with replacing the sky. We might try that. Let's see, what was the day like back then? It was a nice bright blue sky. So let's see what we have here. Oh, my skies are open. I just happen to have my skies open. So do I have maybe, let's grab the one I've got there. I'm gonna grab this and drop it in here, and I forgot to make a copy of my background layer there. I'm gonna need a couple of those actually. I'm gonna make 2 of them. Drop that over there. Actually, I'm gonna scale this up a little bit. Just put that right there, and I'm going to open up, I'm going to drop that between these layers. I'm going to open up the properties, and I'm going to hold Alt and drag this, the blend F across. See if this is going to look, I know it looks really goofy right now, but this will make sense in a minute, because I gotta blur it out. Okay, so here's the thing. And this is a personal peeve of mine, and it drives me nuts that people do this. Anytime people replace skies, a lot of times they forget that when you're shooting with a wide aperture and everything's in the background is blurred out, they forget to blur out their sky to match it. I see these images all the time where the sky is crystal clear and the rest of the image is blurred out. So what we want to do is go up here to, I don't like to use Gaussian blur. I like to use lens blur with, is it lens blur? Yeah, lens blur, it looks a lot more realistic, I've noticed. Gaussian blur doesn't look as good, but the problem with the lens blur is it really slows things down. It's really slow for some reason on my computer. It freezes everything up, so I'm always scared to open it up. And also, if I'm in a hurry, I don't like using it because it just takes so long. And it's usually not enough. Like it doesn't, I had to turn off the preview because it would literally crash my computer. I have no idea why the lens blur would be like that, and it looks like it hasn't done anything. It didn't do anything. Let me add some more. Oh yeah, it's a very small amount. I'm just gonna keep adding it until it matches. I might just have to use Gaussian blur. I'm just gonna go use Gaussian blur. I need some detail in the sky. I don't like just a blown out sky. I want to have kind of a high dynamic range look. I know it looks goofy right now, but we tweak this a little bit, it should look decent. My light source is coming from the wrong direction though. It should be off towards the left, way off to the left. Somebody will probably notice that. Okay, I'll drop that down a little bit. Okay, so that looks more like what the background would look like. About there, maybe. 27. And some things aren't matching up very well, so what I want to do is try to blend it together. So I'm going to add a mask, a layer mask, and have 50% opacity on my brush. And I'm just going to paint this off a little bit to just blend it in a little bit. There we go. And may even drop the opacity of the sky itself, just a little bit, not too much. And there we go. So it's not huge, just adds a little bit of detail up there. So this is a little more dynamic range in the image, I guess. We can actually start editing this image. Do a little dodge and burn here. don't know if you guys can hear that. Got thunder going on in the background. Okay, got. Set my opacity to 50%. Does anybody else have any questions while we're live? Any photography questions? Photoshop questions? COVID-19 questions? I don't know. Conspiracy theory questions? Let's hear your best conspiracy theory on COVID-19. That'll get the conversations going. My comment section is about to blow up now. Maybe I shouldn't have welcomed that. There we go. So here is the before in Photoshop and the after. I like how that turned out. Go ahead and do one more of these. Did that do anything? Oh yeah. It's getting awful quiet in here. Grab my brush. Thank you, Kelly. You know, it's been a while since I've done any photos. I felt like I was a little rusty. This was my first photo shoot of the year. Last fall, I guess, was my last photo shoot. So it's been a few months. So I've done some pictures of the kids, which has been nice because I haven't been able to take as many pictures of the kids as I used to. So I was able to do some of that. Yes, Natasha, 5G. I don't think 5G is I don't think that the effects of COVID-19 is because of 5G, but I don't think 5G is going to be good for anybody. It's going to be good for our internet. But I don't know. Just the fact that there's just very little testing, even on 4G, on the effects of human biology or any biology for that matter. But if you guys know anything about the frequency and the spectrum and whatnot when it comes to the frequencies of the wireless internet like that, it gets kind of scary. Basically, you're releasing microwave type energy through the air when you're around a 5G antenna. Microwave strength. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Basically, you could walk into a microwave. So LTE is like a micro size, and 5G is like, that it's shooting through the air. So you get caught in the beam. You're not gonna feel anything right away, but your cells will probably all die in that spot. At least, I don't know. I mean, nobody really knows. They didn't do any testing that I know of. Why is my hotkeys not working? What's going on here? I hit that button like 5 times. There we go. Grab my sky. I'm going to maybe try a different sky. Do I have one where the sun's off to one side? Because maybe I should try something like this. Because I've got the sun off to one side. Because I want the sun to be more in the actual direction of where the sun was when we shot this. I'm going to bring the... not on this. I'm going to bring the brightness up a little bit, though. So I'm go to camera raw because it's a little dark for this image. I want to try to match the exposure a little bit more. Bring the detail out in those clouds a little bit. Oh, it's not working very well. These are raw files. I don't know why that detail's not coming out very well. Maybe we'll mess with some clarity over here. Of course, I'm going to blur it all out, so it doesn't matter. Do some blend if. If you get the color just right, if we match the sky that was there behind it, it'll come out perfect. But we didn't do that. Oh, wrong layer. Got to make sure you got the right layer selected when you do that. An hour. We've been on for an hour. Okay, there we go. So it didn't match the brightness very well, but here's what we can do. Add a layer mask. Have my opacity of my brush set to 50%. And I'm just going to brush that along the edges, specifically down here. Try to fix that weird ghosting that's going on around the trees there. There we go. And my brush is acting up, kind of acting funny. So there we go. Is that too noticeable? I'm going to drop the opacity of that layer a little bit. Try to match it. I want to be able to see some detail in the sky out there. I don't like this, just that blown out whiteness up there. I'm also seeing something weird up there. What is that? It may just be artifacts because of the preview quality of Photoshop. Hopefully that's all that is. I think I'm getting tired. Yeah, the eyes are getting heavy. Got 2 more photos after this. 2 more, and then I'm gonna build out the presets for my next session. And hopefully someone will hang around for that. I think you might get something out of that. Just kind of see how I do that. Tell you what, I've got some images from my last session that are gonna be awesome. They turned out so good. I mean, just straight raw, straight out of the camera. They looked amazing. So start editing those things. Those suckers. It's gonna be something else. I want to maybe tweak this one a bit. I think I'm gonna go ahead and just okay. Go ahead and crop. Gonna center crop here. I'm gonna go ahead and start out with that preset, but there's something weird going on with the greens back there. There's like maybe too much of the yellow in there or something. Can't quite decide what it is. Let's go down to the HSL panel and play with those. Play with the yellows maybe. Is that it? Right there, maybe. And he's a touch dark. Maybe the overall image needs to come up a little bit. Yeah, there we go. That's a little bit better. All right, paint over that. I'm just going to save that preset. Okay, light is coming from right up here. So I'm going to grab from right there, come down to him. We always want to go the direction of the light. So even if you don't know, subconsciously you'll know something's wrong with the image if the light's coming from the wrong direction. And I'm just going to go over here to current preset. Since I made some adjustments, go to update with current settings. That way, when I go on to the next image, it'll match the one before it. Oh, also, we have a trash can in this image, which I would like to remove. I get a lot of trash cans in my images, specifically with weddings. Bright blue trash cans. I don't know what it is, but I often get bright blue trash cans in the background in my my wedding images. Do you guys get this? Ever since I updated, every time I update, I always regret updating, but there's a point where you almost can't. You have to conform and update. And ever since I updated, I have these warnings that pop up every so often, and it just drives me nuts. I don't know why. I do what it tells me to do, and it doesn't ever fix the issue. All right, trash can. Here's what I'm gonna do. First, I'm just gonna rotoscope around it here, select it, and I'm gonna try content aware. If content aware doesn't work, I'll just do it manually. A lot of times content aware does pretty good. Okay, get you in the ballpark anyway, but you want to watch out for repeating patterns because it's repeated this this light over here, and it also grabbed a little bit of the bench over there. So I'm going to grab that and over there, just kind of blend some of this in a little bit. I want to get rid of this light pattern here because it's the same as that over there. You can see in the thumbnail up here, the preview, that repeating pattern. Got to watch out for repeating patterns. Oof. I'm not super hot about how I did this. All right. Hopefully we got away with that. Trash can, no trash can. Any questions? No questions. Anybody on YouTube? I wish it would tell me. Like, it's weird. So it says it has a number down there of how many people are watching, but I don't know if that's spread. Oh, there it is. 4 people on Facebook, nobody on YouTube. Okay. Well, now I know. That's cool. I didn't know I had that information. I don't actually know how to use any of this software. So there's 4 of you still hanging on there. 10 o'clock and I still got 4 people watching. Awesome. You guys should ask some questions. Because we got one more image after this one. For those of you who are wondering, I'm using my Wacom tablet with the pen tool, which is super awesome when it comes to editing stuff like this, especially when you're doing the hand editing and stuff. Super useful. It was a little weird to get used to at first, but once you get used to it, you'll never go back. And the way I do it when it comes to learning something new like that is I just go full immersion. I basically just took the mouse, turned it off, and threw it away, and forced myself to use this pen until I got used to it. My thoughts on COVID-19? You don't want to know my thoughts on COVID-19. You honestly don't. You already know my thoughts on COVID-19. I don't know if the rest of the world is ready for my thoughts. I already don't have that many people watching. We'll lose only the 3 people that are watching. Scare everybody away. No, I'm not gonna go there. I'm fighting it now. Which Wacom? The cheap one. It's like, is it like $80 or something? It's the cheapest one that I could find, I think, and it works. It's fine. It's perfect. Yeah, it's fine. I thought I had to replace it. I thought it went bad at one point. I've had this thing for like 4 or 5 years or something, but it stopped working right after I updated. And first I thought maybe it was the Wacom tablet, and then I thought maybe it was the pin. I thought maybe the pin went out or something. So I bought another pin, and it still didn't work. And then I realized, oh, I updated. Maybe I should check drivers and stuff. And sure enough, I updated the drivers, and it worked fine. I'm starting to wear a hole in it. I don't know. This webcam can't pick things up very well. It's like there's gonna be a hole in it before long, or maybe it's just dirty. Might be fine. But I'd like to get maybe a bigger one. I don't know. It's fine. Works fine. I don't know if maybe the more expensive ones has like a better feel to it. I don't know. I know there's more options. Like this one has a couple of buttons that you can program, which is kind of cool. But being more of an artist than a photographer, having the option to just like paint and draw is pretty awesome. I like having that option. And I just switch between mouse and tablet. Just whatever feels right. Like right now, I'm using the tablet. Now I'm using the mouse. Depends on what I'm doing. When it comes to like sliders and stuff, I'm just used to doing it on a mouse. When I try to do the sliders and stuff with my tablet, it's I'm not as good with it. I wish I could tell you like exact number or something. It just says Wacom at it, and every time I mess with it, that warning pops up. Trying to make it go away. It just says Wacom. There's nothing else on here to indicate what it is. I have no idea. I couldn't tell you like what model it is or whatever. It's the cheap one. It's just the cheap one. So for instance, my duplicate layer background. I guess you could push, what is it? J something? Yeah, to duplicate layer. There we go. But I programmed it to the button on the tablet. I just hit that, and it makes a duplicate. And you see it pop up there when I do that. My mouse is dead now. What happened? You have an old one? Yeah, that's old. It's an old one. Like I said, it's like 4 or 5. What is this? 2020? Yeah, it's got to be like 5 years old now. And it works fine. I'm just scared. Like I said, every time I update, stuff stops working. I'm always scared when I update my computer to the next operating system or whatever. It never fails. There's always something that stops working. Let's remove this trash can again. Nothing wrong with old if it works. I just had to get a new lawnmower. I did it kicking and screaming because my other lawnmower is about 25 years old, and it worked. It had a complete full metal frame. It was built like a tank, and I knew if I ended up getting a new lawnmower, it just wouldn't be the same. It wouldn't be built the same. I am happy with it so far. I guess we'll see if it starts falling apart. They just don't make things the way they used to. But I'm holding on to the old one too because I'm gonna try to get it running again. I think the engine's done. I think it threw a rod and I think a cylinder went out on it. I just don't know anything about small engines. Come on, Photoshop. When I have the time and the money, I'm going to see about refurbishing it. Partly because one of the things that made it really useful is the fact that it was like a small brush hog. It's a push behind, but it also repels itself. So, and it's pretty strong. And so anytime I need to like mow the field, I don't want to take my new nice lawnmower out there. So I'll take that thing out there and just run little sapling trees over with it. Whoa. Hello. Oh, great. I'm having this issue on the last photo. I don't know what causes this. I may have to restart this image. Ah, that stinks. For some reason, every now and then, I'll get on here and you know what? Let me try this. It's just Photoshop just stops working, and I don't need to turn it off. I just need to turn off this project, and so I've got like 100 projects going on up here right now. But if I run this action, it messes up for some reason. Yeah, and I can't delete it. It won't delete. It won't invert. Oh, let me try this. I have to actually right click and go to delete because the delete button actually won't work anymore. It's like it just lost its mind. Let me try removing the background layer. Oh, no, it's done. It won't let me. Yeah, it just freaks out. It won't work, which means I have to. Let me try this. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to copy the image, close it down, open a new. See if I can trick Photoshop. Is it going to work? I think it worked. Yay. Take that, Photoshop. Now I can edit. That's the thing about Adobe software, guys. That's the thing about them is they're buggy, and they're constantly updating and upgrading. And anytime there's an update, something breaks. And a lot of the times, most of the times, an update never. Every time I update, there's no reason to update. There's like no actual like cool thing. There might be one or two new features, but it's never good enough to, at least for me. I want it to work. It's not worth it having to figure out how to get it running again, or having some weird bug to have to work through now. I feel like I'm just ranting. Come on, wake up, Photoshop. I want to talk about photography. I don't want to rant about life. Did I sharpen the last image? Yes. Okay. Oh man, I need to close down some. What I do is when I am doing a session and I'm editing all the photos from that session, I leave them open, and usually I'll be like dropping the images off to the client as I'm editing them. That way, and I want to leave them open. That way, if the client wants to change something, like, I don't know, they see something in here that maybe I missed. Like, let's say I forgot that trash can, for instance. Let's say I forgot to remove that, and they're like, hey, is there any way you could remove that trash can? Instead of having to go back and re-edit the whole photo just to remove the trash can, I can pull this open and just go down to that layer and remove it. Now, I don't like saving all the PSD files though, because those suckers are huge, and I go through too many photos, way too many images to keep all that. you know, I don't have the hard drive space for it. So if it gets to the point where I'm done with the session, they're happy with the photos, and I close them down, and then 2 days later they're like, "Oh, could you change this one thing?" Then I may just go back and re-edit that one photo, and it'll be fine. But it's not worth like trying to figure out whether save all those PSD files. So much for the Photoshop endorsement. Well, here's the thing though, like, what would you replace it with? I don't know. There's some free options out there, but they're all heavily limited. So I don't really have any other. I can't really, like, yes, I'm endorsing it, but yeah, I also want you to know what you're getting. I'm not gonna say, hey, it's a perfect piece of software, because it's not. It's buggy, just like the rest of them. I want to be real. Maybe that's why I don't sell. I don't sell that much of my stuff. I'm not a good salesperson. I just say how it is. Okay, so that session is done. So let's see if I can find my next session. If I can remember where it's at. I have way too many. The problem is the filing in here is terrible. I don't think I might have not dropped it in here yet. Sponsorship. You meant sponsorship? So much for the sponsorship endorsement, Photoshop endorsement. It's the same thing. So I knew what you meant. And it came out exactly what you meant, really, if you think about it. Okay, I'm just gonna have to find the file. Let's close this down. Oh, it was closed down. This would be fun. You guys get to see my filing. Got my clients. Got my client here. That's the one I want. Oh, I don't need these anymore. Delete those. Yeah, I sent them already. Trump. Okay, I'll upload these. Okay, so yeah, actually, I don't want to have to go through this whole process. I forgot. There's a few things I do have to do, and you guys won't want to have to watch because it'll take forever. And I may just do it in the morning. Essentially, I'll drop these in Lightroom. So what I do is, come on, pull up. Is when I come home from a session and I've got, I don't know, 800 photos or something, I'll go through very quickly and cull out all the, the weird ones, the ones that are just not going to work. I get rid of all those. And then the ones that are left, I send optimized versions of those to my client so that they can actually choose the ones that they want me to edit, because they get a certain amount of photos per session. So then they get to go through and pick those images. So what I do now is I'm uploading all of these images from that session. There's 388 of them. That in itself might take an hour to upload. And then I'll open up the website, because we do it through a website where they picked it. I'll pull up the ones they picked, and I'll have to go through and mark them on Lightroom so that I can pick the ones that I can edit the ones that they picked. And then I create my presets and stuff and go from there. But 388 photos, raw images might take a while. I thought I already had them uploaded on Lightroom, but I guess not. That may take too long, and there's only one of you hanging on, Kelly. It's probably you. You probably don't want to sit here for an hour and wait for these to load, and then you won't want to have to sit through me flagging them. That's how I do it. I either flag it or start or whatever. And it's 10 o'clock. It's 10 o'clock, and I got to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning to start this process all over again, and then go to work, because it's what day even is it? Is it Monday? Is it seriously Monday? Feels like it should be Friday. Whoa, we got photos coming up. This was a fun session though. It was different. I like doing sessions that challenge me. It was all animals. There were a few kids in there, but most of my subjects were animals in this session. And this is a fun client. I enjoy doing her sessions. I never know what to expect. But I got to do some dogs, some pigs, some horses, pony. I wish I could show you some of them, but you know what? Let's see. Show you the piggy. Got a potbelly pig here. Kind of like, it's got the face, you look at it in the face, it kind of looks like a bat. I need to close down my Photoshop, maybe. What do you think of that? What do you think of that guy? Let's see if I can get a better picture of him. I need a full body shot. Here we go. He's kind of posing for me in this one. There's one where he's got like his one front leg up and a back leg back. Oh yeah, I also gotta send my other client their photos. Here we go, check this out. Got some awesome, okay, here's the pony. Got some awesome shoots with shots of horses. My brain is shutting down. Which these are going to be fun. Because these are some like hyper sharp, clear images. Once you come up there, it focused right on their eyes, so a nice clear shot there. I got some of them running. Here we go. Oh, there we had a dog chasing after a ball. But we needed a portrait of the dog with its collar. Check out this leather work on the collar. Anyway, these are gonna be fun to work with. Wow, these are still uploading. Okay, so anyway, I need to find the images I just edited, which should be right here. There we go. If Photoshop saved them all the way they were supposed to, should all be right here. I'm gonna go ahead and send these to my client. I'm gonna go ahead and cut off here and then probably go to bed. Wait and just let these images. Oh, there they go. They're all uploaded now. And Trump is going nuts on Facebook right now, or Twitter. Well, thank you. Thank you, Kelly. So yeah, and I probably won't go live in the morning, although maybe I will, just to see if anybody's on at 3 o'clock in the morning. I might get some of my European friends to come on. So with that, unless anybody has any last minute questions, I'm gonna go ahead and kick this off and go to bed. It's almost 10:30. So with that, I guess I'm gonna go ahead and go. So thank you all so much for watching. I know you all, I think it's just you, Kelly. I think you're the only one left on. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys are doing great. Hopefully the COVID will be gone soon. And I will